Hi everybody, it's Liam. It's been a while since I've posted on this channel. I'm mostly doing videos for Did You Know Gaming, and I have a Patreon where I make content for that, so if you want to check out any of that, links in the description. Anyway, I've had a handful of requests to talk about one of the hot topics of the moment. There is a rumour going around that Nintendo may be reviving a cancelled game of some kind. This originates from Imran Khan of Game Informer fame, who dropped the rumour on the Kinda Funny Games cast last week. He said, and I quote, "There's a game that's thought to be dead that Nintendo's reviving, and it is not one that people would expect. It was very much a title that was dead and buried, very officially cancelled." This has understandably excited a lot of people. I've been getting some comments to talk about this, and so I thought I'd throw my hat into the ring and see if I could offer any insights. I thought for a while about whether or not I should do this video, and instead of just baselessly speculating about which game I think it is, I'd like to talk about a couple that I think aren't coming back. I see people hoping these get revived all the time, and I've always felt strongly that they're very unlikely to come back. This seemed like a good opportunity to talk about those, and as someone who has researched them thoroughly and is currently sitting on a bunch of information for future videos, I feel qualified enough to talk about them. The first one that I saw some people suggesting was Project Hammer, an infamous lost game for the Wii. I made a video on this about 4 years ago, you may have seen it. In short, it was a Wii hack and slash game where you controlled a cyborg named M09 who travels all over America fighting robots with a big hammer. This is a project that I'm certain will never come back. It was a catastrophe for all involved. Nintendo spent millions upon millions trying to get this game to work. It was in development for over 5 years, going through various forms and ideas. At a late stage in development, they completely rebooted the game. It was first shown as this gritty brawler with muted colours and an edgy silent protagonist. By the end, it was a co-op focused game where you controlled Miis. The project was mismanaged so severely over so many years that it caused about half of Nintendo Software Technology's staff to leave, and it permanently damaged Nintendo's trust in the studio. This was easily one of the most expensive and damaging cancelled projects in Nintendo's history, and I do not think they would ever bring it back under any circumstances. That's my take. Another big name which I've seen being thrown around in relation to this is Scalebound. There are a lot of rumours out there about this. Scalebound, for those who don't know, was an action RPG from Platinum Games about a man and his dragon. This is a project that I have a personal interest in, and I've spent a fair bit of time talking to different people who worked on it ever since it was cancelled. I've always wanted to do a big video detailing everything that went down and what this game was supposed to be, but it's such a difficult subject for so many reasons, and I don't want to get sued, so it might take a while. Over the past several months, there have been some rumours going around on Twitter that this might be getting revived, and I can honestly say that I've never really believed them. I would say that I'm fairly tuned into what goes on at Platinum Games. I often talk to people who work there, or work with them, or have done in the past, and I find it hard to believe that they're bringing it back. There are a lot of projects I hear about that they've been working on, including unannounced games and pitches that didn't go anywhere, some of them pretty crazy. A Scalebound revival has never come up. Is there a possibility that Scalebound comes back one day? I think there is always a chance, but it is a very small one, and I have not heard anything firsthand from any of their developers to indicate that this is being worked on. Keep in mind that I'm not omniscient. I don't know absolutely everything they're doing all the time, but I very much doubt that's happening right now. Here are some reasons for that. Despite being a big AAA project, Scalebound is a game that was very personal to those that worked on it. Given that a number of people who worked on it at Platinum have since left, I really doubt that they would try it again, partly out of respect. If they restarted it now without that same team, it wouldn't be the same creative vision, it wouldn't be the same game. JP Kellums was a creative producer on Scalebound who was instrumental to its development, and he no longer works there, for example. There have been other departures from Platinum Games since, and I've heard that more are planning to leave in the future. To put it simply, I think the Scalebound era Platinum games is in the past. One thing to understand is that cancelling Scalebound was a decision reached mutually between Microsoft and Platinum. They both agreed that for many reasons it was unsalvageable and it would be best to shut it down. I don't believe that Platinum would now go back on such a massive decision just 2 years later. A huge part of Scalebound's problems, as I understand it, was performance. The game had so many ideas and was intended to have a huge sense of scale, but the OG Xbox One could not keep up with it. If this game was being resurrected for the Switch, an even less powerful system, then it would have to be scaled down so severely to such a point that it wouldn't be the same game anymore. The wow factor of reviving this long sought after cancelled game would be lost because it would be, in a sense, a compromised version of their vision for it. Another point that I'd like to raise is that I believe Platinum Games does not have the resources to be developing Scalebound right now. I was reliably informed by the same sources that knew about Okami 2, Scalebound being cancelled, Platinum being taken off of Granblue Fantasy Relink, that they recently shelved a major project because their studios couldn't support it. There's also the matter that Microsoft owns Scalebound. Nintendo and Microsoft have a very good relationship nowadays, and I have heard they're working on some big things together, but I do think that selling Scalebound to Nintendo might be a step too far. This is a game that Xbox fans were clamoring for. It was one of the biggest games in the Xbox One's lineup at the time. People were devastated when they cancelled this, and I think Microsoft is well aware of how disappointing that news was. I think they have the self-awareness to avoid aggravating that same audience even more by letting Scalebound be revived as an exclusive for a competing platform that many of their fans won't own. Microsoft selling Scalebound to Nintendo and letting them revive it for their system is almost like an admission of defeat on their part as well. It says to their audience that they were incapable as a publisher of delivering on this game and that they think Nintendo could do a better job. I also want to shoot down the idea of Nintendo buying the IP from Microsoft and then not using Platinum Games. Nintendo has an enormous amount of respect for Platinum and Kamiya, and I don't think they would continue it without their involvement. So yeah, that was a very long-winded way of me saying that I don't think Scalebound is coming back. I could be wrong, and feel free to disagree, but that's my take on the matter. I know there are a bunch of rumours going around right now that this is happening, and at least for the time being, I don't really buy it. Some people have suggested that maybe Platinum is buying full ownership of the IP from Microsoft too. This might sound a little harsh, but I don't think Platinum is in the right position financially to be spending that kind of money. Again, I don't claim to know all of this as fact, I just wanted to offer my perspective. Feel free to yell at me in the comments, which some of you no doubt will do. If you enjoyed this video, maybe check out my other work, such as my research into Okami 2, which you can see on the Did You Know Gaming channel. Subscribe for more, check out my Patreon, and that's all I've got to say. Bye for now, everyone.